Hello everybody, this is N.M.P.D here, and today... Now, I gotta be honest with all of you, I wasn't planning on making any videos on late August, until this whole incident out of nowhere blew up. Before I get right to the topic, this recording was originally made in August 27th. If I somehow managed to post this in a very late time, that is why. Hopefully you can understand. And another thing I'm gonna try to do, but then again I can't really make promises at the same time, is that I'm gonna try to tone it down with the cursing, because I've been hearing some rumors here and there that if you do curse in your videos, I mean, the money's obviously not the problem. The problem is that it will get blacklisted, and there's a good chance that not a lot of people, or at least nobody, will even notice the video's existence. Although in my defense, those are set of choice words. It's not like I'm out here saying random slurs. It's just casual talk. Like, I don't see much of the issue about it. I mean, it is what it is. I gotta do it regardless. That's what I'm gonna have to try to do nowadays on YouTube. I'm gonna have to take it a little down a notch, if you will. So the topic of this video is revolving around a YouTuber named CoryxKenshin. Yeah, never really heard of this guy before, and I bet many of you haven't either.
Are you kidding me? Say what? Bullshit!
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Die of violence?
Yeah, wait, I'm joking. I'm joking. I almost forgot, in this day and age, people can't take jokes. Anyways, on to the topic at hand. Now, Cory is a YouTuber with around 10 million subs. He's a very wholesome and family-friendly guy, not really the fake type of family-friendly channels or anything like that. He seems to be legitimate and genuine about what his content's about and what he's about in general. I remember supporting his content before he became very recognizable, like blowing up out of nowhere. It is honestly wild. Now, Cory ended up making another banger of a video, pretty much exposing YouTube by racism and favoritism. So in the video, he pretty much took off the samurai bandana. He had enough of YouTube, and he's finally going in and getting in with the details and not letting any of it slide or even holding back to the slightest. He pretty much swan dived headfirst into YouTube's cheeks, into the colon, to find their dirty little secrets. And with the icing on the cake, he pretty much exposes them even more by telling his experience with some receipts. Now I'm gonna show you the video and then we will discuss.
August 18th, I uploaded The Mortuary Assistant. A lot of you would know it got age restricted because the following video I did, I let you guys know it got age restricted. YouTube didn't tell me why. I saw that all these other YouTubers were playing The Mortuary Assistant and only my video seemed to be age restricted. And I looked for like an hour, 2 hours. I was scrolling all different types of people's video. No one else's was age restricted.
So the clip that I showed you in this video, Cory explained that YouTube for some reason age restricted his video about the mortuary assistant. Somewhere in the video he ended up explaining that somewhere in the ending might have caused the age restriction of that game. Now I don't really know much about what it is because I haven't actually seen the gameplay. And then he ends up mentioning Markiplier because he ended up playing this game, and in one of his parts he ended up showing the ending, and surprise, surprise, it wasn't age restricted. I mean, who would have thought, right? YouTube favoritism. Am I right or am I right? Then Cory explained to one of the YouTube reps saying, hey, how come Markiplier's video showing that specific part wasn't age restricted and mine somehow was? And all that took for him to get his age restriction off was Markiplier's video about literally the same thing that he was shown. I honestly kind of feel bad for Markiplier for somehow getting involved into this stuff, but at the same time, he is a prime example when it comes to doing whatever he does for content. I mean, just imagine doing the same thing that he does and somehow you get in so much shit. You never know, man. You never know.
So I go to Markiplier's Mortuary Assistant Part 3, and he had the same situation going on, and his video wasn't age restricted. So I send the video to my YouTube rep. I say, hey, Markiplier has this situation in his video, but his isn't age restricted. Could you send that to the policy team and see what they say about that? He said, wow, Cory, that's some astute detective work. Let me send this to them and see what they say. What do you think happened after that? I'll give you a second. They came back and they removed my age restriction. They took it off after they already rejected my appeal. I sent them the clip of Markiplier's video that has the same thing, and they removed it.
And Cory, rightfully so, was not satisfied about it, because knowing the fact that all it took for his video to get unage restricted was mentioning Markiplier making the same horror game with the same specific part that got the age restriction. And then Cory ended up giving YouTube a long, lengthy email pretty much explaining how he feels about the platform, pretty much calling them out too while he's at it, saying that they're either, you know, racist or there's some favoritism action going on, which I can 100% agree that they treat other creators differently with that type of favoritism action. But when it comes to racism, I'll have to explain that later.
So I send my YouTube rep a lengthy email detailing my feelings about the entire situation, feeling like there was some favoritism at play, there was either that or some racism at play, and that I would like to sit down with the policy team and figure out why my video was flagged in the first place.
So, you would all think that YouTube would have learned a lesson about this. Yeah. No. You should seriously know by now, this is YouTube we're talking about, like the YouTube now. Instead, they pulled a very Dumbo-Wumbo move, just like removing the dislikes, and they ended up re-age restricting not only Cory's, but Markiplier's as well. And I gotta say, how does that help? Instead of unage restricting their videos and learn something about it to make sure that it never happens again, they just end up doing the worst possible decision ever. Like, Jesus, how do you fuck that up? Like, who the hell is running YouTube? Ex-Roblox employees? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Another day, another 2 days go by, and what do you know? They re-age restricted the video. They re-age restricted the video. I say, no way did they do that. I go to Markiplier's video now, and now his video is age restricted. They got caught with their pants down. They got called out, and then they had to go back and say, oh, whoa, okay. We see the narrative that he's kind of pushing here. We need to take some steps back. We need to just age restrict them both and be done with it. You thought that I wasn't gonna like talk about this, make a video about it? You realize how bad this looks for you, YouTube. You realize how unfair this comes across.
I am convinced more and more, and I'm not gonna stop saying it until people get the point. YouTube does not give a shit about their creators. They just don't care. If they really did care, they would address the situation, but they hadn't, and they won't. Because their one weakness on the platform is communication. It's that goddamn simple. I don't want to bother hearing it from these talking heads saying that, oh, you know, YouTube cares. You know, that's what they all say, man. I just can't believe that shit. I want to hear it from them, themselves, not from other creators, because I just cannot believe it. And then later on in Cory's video, he accuses YouTube of being racist. Now, he's very aware that it is a serious accusation to accuse, but he has no proof to make for it. So all we can do is just assume, right? And honestly, I get it. Trust me, I know exactly what that shit's like to encounter racist pieces of shit stains that are potential abortions. This is either gonna go one or two ways, maybe even three, depending if you decide to make my day and see what happens to me. That's all I'm gonna say about that, because that immediately really thinking about that really pisses me off. You have no idea. That type of shit seriously boils my blood. I made a video a month ago talking about one of my experiences with that shit. It's not fun, and I'm not a fan of it, and I refuse to associate myself with people who are like that. If I find out you're like that, I'm just gonna cut you the fuck off immediately. There is no buts when it comes down to it. There's no what ifs. There's no, oh, it's just a what. No. No, we don't do that here in the new Mombasa. But at the same time, YouTube is not really racist, and let me explain why that is. I'm not gonna go full depth into the story, but I might as well cut to the chase and explain the actual details on why that is. So somewhere in the YouTube multiverse, I'm just gonna call this guy the Tickled Man because I don't want to mention him on this channel. I'm not gonna give this vile, human scum the attention. So the tickled man, who is black by the way, keep that in mind, is a false copyright abuser. He is very, very, very homophobic. He wished death upon gay people and, you know, the LGBTQ people, and pretty much anybody who despises or dislikes him, which, by the way, doing that is gonna give you even more enemies than before. And he's very racist, specifically to his own race. And there was a video of him reviewing the new Batman movie before he ended up deleting it because he got a lot of flack for it, and rightfully so, by the way. And I'm gonna tell you why that is. In the video, he ended up calling Zoe Kravitz, which is the actor who played as Catwoman, a half-breed. Yeah. Let that sink in. A half-breed. Now, as somebody who is a light-skinned individual myself, is it a slur? I don't really think so compared to the N-word with the hard R. But is it racist? Hell yeah. It's very fucking racist, and I take grave offense to it. I can keep going on and on about this guy. At the end of the day, he's nothing more than an insufferable asshole who is clearly unhinged and cannot be trusted. So then about 4 months ago, the Act Man ended up making a couple of videos about this guy. One of them unfortunately got taken down due to a BS reason, which is sexual and nudity type content. And how it happened, because the Act Man ended up poorly photoshopping a cucumber on top of the tickled man's mouth, and that was the main reason why it got taken down. It's almost like they were trying to protect this guy, this horrible menace to this world, not only to this world, to the whole platform as well. And specifically, the video that was taken down was him talking about why YouTube, for some reason, did not want to terminate that tickled man. Then he ended up doing some stupid stuff like making satirical jokes about coming to YouTube and doxing them or whatnot, and they ended up demonetizing his channel for at least 30 days, and then his channel ended up getting back to remonetization, and then at some point he ended up talking about the aftermath as well, which I recommend you should watch that if you really are curious. He ended up going into more depth and detail about how it happened in the aftermath, obviously. YouTube, for some odd reason, refused to terminate a channel who violated TOS. First one is false copyright striking. The second one is actual hate speech, not genuine opinions that are very strong and everything. Like, it's actual hate speech. And the third one is cyberbullying and harassment. I almost forgot to mention this. He went out of his way to contact random family members off of YouTubers. A grown-ass man calling random grown-ass man's mothers. And not only that, he went out of his way to harass a minor. And for some reason, YouTube just doesn't care. They straight up don't fucking care. They seriously go out of their way to protect most of the bad apples on the platform, the tumors, if you will. And whenever somebody wants to make the platform a better place by calling these channels out, they are the ones that get punished. So this is September 4th right now of this recording, and I got an email on September 1st by YouTube saying that they removed my content. When I first looked at the title, I was like,
oh shit, here we go again.
So I was hoping that there wasn't gonna be any problems with that, and luckily I was kinda right. So here's the situation. As you can see with the email, they pretty much said, in short, that it somehow violates sex and nudity policy, which what they're referring to was the link that I put out in the description. Now, the video was me discussing and going over a little bit of leaked items through one of the older updates from a game that I just don't feel like mentioning. Something about, you know, floors or something, whatever. So I just provided the link so that way other people can see leaked items, and somehow it contains sexual and nudity. Somehow, I don't get it. I don't know what their mind process is with this one. And I've actually taken a look at the URL, and I didn't really see anything sexual, but I might know what caused it to be sexual in their view, which is the clot backpack. If you played that game and if you know what that cosmetic is, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. If not, then I will send out a split image of it. I'm not gonna show the full thing. All they did was remove the link in my older video that's like 3 years ago, and I gotta say, it honestly could have been worse if they given me a community guideline strike or demonetization, or even pull the Cory maneuver and age restrict the video, which by the way has nothing to do with any sexualness, not even a little bit. Hell, I'd say far from it. And speaking of age restrictions, on November 12th of 2020, I got an email from YouTube saying that my video, known as something with a floor, some leftover recording gameplay, that has been 5 years ago. 5 years! And it was just randomly flagged for review. And overall, for some reason, which I bet they've only watched the video for like 10 seconds, they just age restricted it. Are you kidding me? So let me get this straight. Some random fatherless child,
another fatherless child,
reported the video. I have no idea how it works afterward, either some automated system or some other human being who works with YouTube sees the video and decides, you know, whether it deserves an age restriction or not, which personally, I don't think it ever deserves an age restriction. That video was literally just leftover gameplay with no commentary at all. Just me chilling, playing the game, trying to relax my anus. And you know, 5 years later, an age restriction shows up out of nowhere. Out of all the videos, it had to be this one. Not only that, the video didn't even like went viral or anything. It's not like it cracked up to 1,000 views or anything, not even close to 100. It's still in the tens.
You shitting me?
If we're gonna be playing the fair is fair game, there are many, you know, people who make this video or maybe like make 1 or 2 videos about this game and that's it. With or without commentary, it doesn't really matter. And they end up showing the gameplay about it. It's pretty much just as the same gameplay that I have in my video. If we're gonna be playing fair, people who have made video about that game specifically should all be age restricted if we're playing fair. There should not be favoritism on this platform ever. There shouldn't be any favorites just because, oh, they got a bigger number of subs or something. As somebody with 5K, it's still a small amount, but it is progress though, and I obviously don't want to see that happening to people. I'm just trying to prove a point that, you know, fair's fair. If I'm getting an age restriction, hell, people who make videos about the same game in general should get it too, if we're gonna be playing fair. So for some reason it is okay for content creator number 1 to do it, but not for content creator number 2. Why the hell is that? Yeah, they're different people, but they're playing the same game. So what's the difference? But luckily, this situation came with a really good ending. About some point later, YouTube ended up giving me another email about the whole age restriction situation about my 5-year-old video, saying that after actually watching the video, they pretty much removed the age restriction, which honestly, I'm glad that it came to that conclusion. I've been hearing here and there that usually sending appeals to age-restricted videos, usually most of the time they ended up getting rejected, but for mine, for some reason, ended up getting accepted. And I don't know, I guess I'm just one of the lucky few people of having that to actually happen. Either that, or I'm quite lucky to have somebody who actually looked at the video at the YouTube headquarters who actually has a conscience.
But Mr. N.M.P.D, why do you care about your video getting age restricted that barely gets any views?
Alright, since you don't get it, I might as well explain. If it gets age restricted, there's a good chance that that video will never get any notice or recognition or even reach to the algorithm at all. Even if it didn't, it still wouldn't be. I mean, you gotta be a real betting man for it to get into the algorithm nowadays. I mean, seriously. And honestly, the most messed up part about it all is that I don't really get an actual reason why the video ended up getting an age restriction in the first place. You thought maybe I'd get a reason? I got none. They just said, oh, it's just getting age restricted. And that's it. There's no reason at all for why. Not even a little bit. And then in 2015, where I was still somewhat new to YouTube, I ended up getting some random community guideline strike, which is 100% BS. I made a video talking about it and everything. You can go ahead and look at it yourself, link it in the description. Yeah, man, when it comes to looking at these stuff, it really makes me think that making content on YouTube is just not really worth it. Like, just imagine one of these days if I managed to finish the whole Gmod Zombie Apocalypse series and come up with its conclusion. And then after I finish that, YouTube all of a sudden shows up out of nowhere. Oh, demonetized, age restricted, community guideline strike. Like, I've been doing YouTube for 7 years and I've spent most of my fucking time on YouTube. And now as of this year, I don't really do much of that anymore. This year has been honestly a very busy year for me to even bother focusing on YouTube. I've been doing other things of putting other eggs in my baskets, if you will. And I'm not gonna say what else I do. That is honestly exactly what I've been doing. If you are wondering why I haven't been making much content this year, that is exactly why. And not only that, it's just not really fun making content anymore. I've made up to hundreds of videos and most of them don't really get the attention it deserves. But don't get me wrong, I'm obviously not planning on quitting YouTube anytime soon. There'll be times here and there where I'll be making videos and that's just about it. I might just take a long hiatus. I might pull the Cory maneuver, if you will. Except I get jack shit for views.
You shitting me?
I believe that's definitely gonna be it for this video. I've discussed what I've discussed. And overall, is YouTube about that favoritism? Yep, definitely. Is YouTube racist? I mean, about to keep it $1.50 about that one. So, be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, and subscribe for more. And, I don't know what my next video is gonna be, so it might be a mystery. That's about it. See you guys next time.